Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek, where passion drives us every day of the week. From gaming quests to tech's next best, we're diving deep into a geek's best. Movies, anime, and pop culture dreams, we're the geeks who live in wild extremes. From gaming nights to sci-fi streams, Geek Culture 101, where we're proud to dream.
Welcome back to Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek. Today we're taking a closer look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PC.
And there is so much to tell. Where should I even start? With all that we saw, what we heard, what we felt.
The ultimate way to experience this long-awaited sequel. If Remake was the first taste of something revolutionary, Rebirth is a full-course meal. Bigger, wilder, and packed with enough surprises to keep you both thrilled and scratching your head. While the PS5 version has long since been out, the PC release steps into its own with sharper textures, enhanced lighting, and a performance that's a treat for high-end rigs. Assuming your setup can handle all the visual fireworks,
Start thinking things so dark and ugly that it scares me.
Square Enix isn't just delivering a sequel here. They're reimagining what a remake can be, fusing nostalgia with innovative mechanics and a story that sometimes feels like it's doing somersaults over its own ambition. So does Rebirth live up to the hype, or does it buckle under its own grand design? Let's break it down. Chocobo, surprises and all. So the visual and performance. The PC version isn't just an upgrade, it's a definitive way to play. Sharper textures, improved lighting, and significantly less environmental pop-up make it clear that this version outclasses the PS5. Now, I haven't tested on the PS5 Pro, so I can't compare that, but on a high-end PC, it's stunning. Performance-wise, it's smoother than the console version with fewer frame rate dips and way less jitter than the PS5 had at launch. That said, I did notice some minor stuttering, but after the latest updates, both the game and the GPU drivers, those problems were nearly non-existent unless, for some reason, when I tried to run OBS at the same time. So streamers, be warned. So Queen's Blood, the minigame that deserves its own game. Now, Final Fantasy has had a long history of addictive minigames, but Queen's Blood, it might just be the best one yet. It's got layers of strategy, rewarding depth, and that's just one more match factor that makes it seriously dangerously easy to sink hours into. Honestly, Square Enix could release this as a standalone game, and I'd be the first in line. That said, it can be tough. Expect to lose a few rounds before you really get the hang of it, and even then, you still may end up losing from time to time. Now let's talk about the combat. Now this is where a modern RPG has been done right. Rebirth combat is a fine-tuned evolution of what Remake started. It's fast, fluid, and lets you switch seamlessly between party members, making battles feel dynamic and cinematic. It might just be the best real-time combat in Final Fantasy history, but I'll admit, I still miss turn-based RPG combat. Something about the strategic pacing of classic Final Fantasy VII just hits differently. That's more of a personal preference though, because what's here, it works. Now let's talk about the good, the bad, and the Chocobo Ranch. One of Rebirth's most interesting mechanics is transmutation. A unique way to craft items you need. It's a great system, but some materials are still annoyingly hard to come by. Speaking of annoying, there's a bit of backtracking. Some of the side quests, they feel like they exist just to stretch out playtime, and yes, I'm looking at you, Chocobo Ranch quests. Now the story, brilliant, but well, a lot. Rebirth expands on the original in fascinating ways, bringing deeper character moments and emotional weight that weren't as fleshed out in the original Final Fantasy VII, but then it gets complicated. The second half of the game veers into mind-melting territory. If you thought Remake was setting up a wild ride, oh, Rebirth goes all in, and sometimes, well, it's at the cost of clarity. Personally, I liked Remake more because its story felt more focused. But if you're all in on lore, heavy storytelling, Rebirth delivers in spades, but to me, it just gets a little overcomplicated. So my final thoughts and my score? Well, they say the main story takes about 30 to 40 hours, but I don't see how. I played with a minimal side content. Did some light grinding and only hit a handful of tough fights, and still it took me 88.8 hours. Maybe I'm just bad at it, who knows. But here's what I know. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is gorgeous, ambition, and fun, all in one. It built on what Remake did while pushing the franchise into bold new territories. While it's not perfect, and I still have a soft spot for Remake, this is one of the best RPGs of the year. A game that every Final Fantasy fan should experience. So my final verdict, I'm giving it 4 Chocobos out of 5. If you enjoyed this review, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, stay geeky, my friends. Stay geeky.